Hey there, sports fans. How are we? I'm very well, thank you. Getting excited for this weekend's Rugby League action. So welcome to the 10 Yards Back YouTube channel. I'm Jim, and this is my preview for Game 3 of the Ashes series at Headingley. So we saw Game 2 this weekend at the Hill Deco over there on the docks in Liverpool. And that, in my opinion, was a resounding success for the game. Well, the game of rugby league, the international game, but also the stadium, the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everyone bloody loved it, didn't they? The Australians had a little moan about the pitch markings, and all right, fair enough. But by and large, I think the fan experience, the actual football experience, everything at the Hill Deco, the stadium's so nice they named it thrice because the Hill Dickinson, there's Everton, and there's that secret name that Everton fans call it that begins with a B. That if you say to an Everton fan, "Hey, you're going to the Hill Dickinson," they'll go, "Yeah, it's the Bramley Moor, no, not Bramley Moor, it's something anyway." But whatever it's called, it was a really great day by the looks of it. I was watching at home on TV with my baby. 4 points to 14. England fell to Australia. Australia took the Ashes. They all seemed pretty pleased about it. It was a good game. It was a grueling game. I said at the beginning of last week that England need to meet Australia where they're at, and I didn't mean in terms of quality. I meant in terms of just, I'm going to say aggression to be polite, but what I really mean is just blatant grubbiness. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, it was a bit grubby, wasn't it? If we're being honest, that game. So, but they did. England right straight in there. Like a penalty on the first set from the referee, I think was a bit. It was just him putting his yardstick down, wasn't it? Like, hey, I'm going to give penalties in this game. England, unfortunately, were the victims on that one. But whatever. We then go down the field and we get another immediate penalty followed by 2 yellow cards. The penalty, I think, was given to the wrong team. Australia kicked 2 points, no one cared, because everyone expected Australia to be up. No one expected a draw at half-time. And then I think ultimately, like, 10 points in it, yes, it's 10 points, but really it was just 2 moments, wasn't it? It was Cam Munster being one of the best players in the world and spotting a gap that maybe also a little obstruction. I don't know. The referee didn't see it because he didn't see anything. And the second one was Tom Johnston just switching off for a second, didn't he? Like, just mentally, you could see, like, he just, it was like he just thought about, I don't know, spaghetti for like a split second, and then all of a sudden, was it Young? Was through there for the second try, and that was really the only points in the game. It was all Australia really did in attack, I think, except for that 40-20. And that's why I'm really looking forward to this third game in the series. There's nothing on the line, for sure, but this weekend we head to Headingley for Game 3. I've got high hopes for this. Yes, the Hill Deco was a nice stadium. Everyone enjoyed it, but this is rugby league, isn't it? This is rugby league heartland. It's about 40,000 fans, which I was surprised at when I looked at that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong about that, but 39,850 fans heading over there. Couple of empty seats because I've seen those tickets for sale on Facebook. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much a packed house Saturday at 2:30 again at kickoff. So the teams are out. Here, I'm going to go through what I think of the teams first and foremost, but how I think each team will probably play or should play, given my vast rugby league knowledge sat in my chair at home. So let's have a look at the Australian team. Australia. Now, the only major change the Australians have will be a welcome one to them. Of course, it's the changes they haven't made that everyone's a bit upset about, but that's fine. Isaiah Yeo makes his way back into the team. Now, captain excuses, Isaiah Yeo, the captain of the Australian team. I just don't like him as a person. I don't know why. I've never met him. I'm sure he's nice, but I just can't get along with him. But he's the Australian captain, so I think what's happened here is, yes, Kevin Walters has taken aside 25 fellas or whatever it is to England, to Blighty, to play some rugger, and Isaiah Yeo within 20 minutes was off the field with an HIA, which of course ruled him out for the second game too. So that's pretty unfortunate for the captain of your country to be out like that, isn't it? Like, we can all say that's an unfortunate thing. They've done pretty well with him out. I don't think they've suffered, but he makes it back into the team, and the rest of the team, other than, was it Lindsay, I forget the guy's name, whoever stepped in. So I think Patrick Carrigan stepped into loose to replace Yeo. Somebody else replaced Patrick Carrigan as a starting prop. I can't remember who. So that switch has just reverted back to, this is basically the team that took the field on that first test match. Now, I think that a big part of them choosing this team, and not because they got like Mitchell Moses is on the bench. Now, last World Cup, Mitchell Moses was on fire. I think I can't remember which team he was, but he wasn't playing for Australia in the World Cup. I don't think he was playing for somebody else. But he had a really, really good time. He's a really good player, but he's not in the side, is he? He's just on the bench, and people are complaining that, why did you take these fellas over to England if you're not going to play them? I reckon a big part of that has been this concussion thing, because essentially, yes, they've won the series, they've won the Ashes, but they haven't had that full team with the captain on the field, have they, yet? So I think probably what's happened here is Kevin Walters said, listen, do you want us to rest these fellas, or do you want to actually play full force with the team you set out to do? And let's smash some poms. Let's make some pom juice, some apple juice. So that's the way it is. Now, you can look at this two ways, I think. As an English fan, I am pleased about this, because it means that England get one more bite at the cherry with a full-strength Australia side. Because what I didn't want to happen is them field a different side. Well, yeah, I just didn't want them to field a different side, because if England beat a different side, then, that was our B team anyway. But if England lose to a different side, then it's, you can't even beat our B team. So either way, for England, this is the best outcome for them, is just that same team again. We're 3 weeks more experienced. Let's see what happens in a rugby league heartland stadium. This is perfect, right? Now, last week, this team struggled with they basically couldn't keep hold of the ball. There's a couple of forward passes because they're playing so close, which England could have taken a leaf out of their book with that, to be honest. So yeah, forward passes, handling errors, penalties were basically the story of Australia's game last week. So they need to sharpen that up. I don't know what's being done about that. They need to sharpen it up, and I think that one way that they can maximise points while sharpening that up is, this week, in my opinion, is going to be the week of Nathan Cleary. He's been present. He's done some great things throughout the tournament, but he's been very quiet compared to the superstar that once took the field in this country of Nathan Cleary. Reece Walsh had his turn, first game of the series. Superstar smashed it. Last week was the week of Munster. Grant has been sort of just simmering underneath, being a little bit of a little shit, if I'm honest. This week I think is clearer, because last week they learned that England have got some forwards who are actually game and will make you struggle and will make you suffer. And we're game. We're up for it. with Cleary's kicking game, they can get down the field more efficiently without having to deal with bloody big English fellas, right? So I think that's what's going to happen. Cleary's going to take control of the game. I don't really know what Isaiah Yo's sort of style is, to be honest. I've been underwhelmed by him generally. So we'll see what he does. I think, to be honest, I think Australia are going to be going for blood here. They're playing the same game as the first series. They're going to want points. I think England really need to sharpen up, and we'll get to the England team now. England have named their 19-man team, and again, I've just been so confused by this whole how many players do we name, when do we play them thing. I was listening to an Australian podcast the other day, and they made a great point, because I don't really follow the NRL. If I watch it, I certainly don't follow it, so I don't know what happens off the field, basically. I didn't realise that in Australia, they basically released the team for the weekend on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And I think that's a great idea. Like, over here, we just don't have enough content, right? It's not... The focus is the weekend. Everything about rugby league happens at the weekend. Even like the podcasts and the TV shows, they come out on a Monday. So then you've got all week with no rugby league. What these fellas were saying was, why not just have a couple of points in the week that sort of articulate the week a little bit, keep people interested? And I think that is a great idea, because, you know, this team was released on Thursday, yesterday, and it's not even a team, it's a squad. It's 19 people. So we're still sort of thinking, oh, who's going to play? You know, is Walmsley out? Is Clark out? You know, what's going to happen? I think release the 17 or the 18 and let us know. But anyway, that aside, the squad has been released. Couple of changes. Bloody Dom Young, man, when he walked off last week, I had a really bad feeling, and I'm sure that he felt worse, because his series is over, isn't it? And he's been absolutely fantastic. He's been absolutely outstanding. Joe Burgess comes in to replace Dom Young. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, to be honest. But what I will say is that throughout the series, Young has been playing very, very aggressively. He's kind of been a bit of an enforcer for us, bringing it back into the middle, really doing a number. I mean, you can see that last week from the sort of the incidents he was involved with. So Burgess, compared to Young, is much more of a I'm going to say a classic winger. He's a Super League winger, right? Young, I think, has been playing a little bit more punching above his weight, trying to move into field a little bit, maybe playing a little bit more like a centre, you know, doing a little bit more offloading and things like that. Burgess is a winger. So Farnworth needs to react as such. He's got to realise that Joe Burgess is out there on the wing for 80 minutes of the game. If he needs to get the pass out, Burgess is going to be there. There was a point last week when Young went off and Farnworth got past, just a bloody poor pass. I think it was for Young, really, but Farnworth was there. And he just sort of gave a look like, what are you doing? I'm a centre. I'm not a winger. There's no one there. Burgess is going to be there, and he's gonna chance his arm. He's going to run down the line. Now, whether that means we're going to get bowled into touch a lot, I don't know. Personally, that's probably not the end of the world if that's on those final plays. You know, we don't want to be doing that on tackle 3, but on tackle 5, who gives a shit? At least Reece Walsh can't get his hands on it and return it. So that's, I think, that they need to figure out or remember, right, okay, Burgess is there now. We haven't got Young in the middle enforcing, but we do have Burgess. That's where he is. Similarly, Tom Johnston on the other side. This might also actually free up Johnston a little bit, because now they're probably just going to kick to Burgess all the time because they don't know him. They don't know what he can do. Tom Johnston's massively gained their respect. Let's see what happens with Burgess, eh? On the other wing, I hope we got Newman. Harry Newman is in the team. Now, Newman is a risky one. Newman will meet these Australians where they are with the grub tactics, with the getting in the face, with the winding them up. But he's also a fucking baby, so he'll get pissed off too. You can absolutely wind Newman up and ruin his day. So I think that is going to be key for whoever the captain is, and we'll get to that. You got to make sure you're using Newman to the best of his ability. Make sure that Newman is being a force moving forwards and solid in defence. He can do that. Don't let him engage in anything else, because otherwise his head's going to drop, he's going to get distracted, and you'll bleed tries. In the forwards, for the starting team, I mean, I've taken Walmsley out of the team. As a Saints fan, I shouldn't have done that, but I think that we're at risk here. For me, it came down to Ledsky versus Walmsley. Who can we afford in the team? And I think we need a Ledsky. He's just got a little bit more about him. He's a little bit more agile. A little bit, his hands are a little bit better. Walmsley last week had the fastest play the ball speed of anyone on the England team. But do we really need that? Because the Australians aren't exactly really lying on all the time. You know, a slow ruck is not in their repertoire necessarily, so that fast play of the ball probably didn't really get us the advantage it would have done in the Super League. What I will say is that his stats in general, Walmsley's, were about in line with everybody else, so he did just about as well as everybody else. But I just feel like Ledsky's got a little bit more legs. He can do a little bit more of a stint than Walmsley can, and therefore makes him a more useful rotation player. Walmsley's out. I've got Williams in at 18th man. Last week I said I was confident with the team. I think we can do it as long as we lose one of those halves. Because yet again, we find ourselves in the position where we've got Smith, Lewis and Williams. Lewis was utilised poorly last week. So let's have a look at what happened with Lewis last week. We had Jez Litton playing at hooker for 70 minutes, 69 minutes, 70 minutes. Doing a shift as well, like doing really good work. Then, so Jez Litton, champion, treble winning hooker this year, right? And then you say, hey, his mate Mikey's on the bench. They've been doing wonderful things all year. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Mikey on for the last 10 minutes, and I'm going to get Litton off to make sure that they can't do anything together. Because for some reason, George Williams must be on the field at all times, even if he's not doing anything and hasn't really done much all series. That's not fair. The first half of the first game, Williams was excellent. Second game wasn't. So, look, I don't think that Sean Wayne is going to do this, but he needs to do something different, and I think that is removing Williams from the team. Williams, I think, is actually a wonderful person. Like, personally, he's great. He's just not pulling his weight here in the team, and he's the captain. We need someone like, you know what? Yeah, if I can give Lewis the captaincy, I don't care. If I give it to Harry Smith, I don't really care. But don't put him on the field. Let's see what Smith and Lewis can do. They're both kicking threats. They're both long and short kicking threats. Lewis is a little bit stronger, a little bit more tenacious. He will take those risks. He'll get in the face. He'll play that Australian grubby game, but will not be distracted. For me, he's the perfect player to wear that number 6 on Saturday. We'll see what happens. A couple of other shifts around I've put Darryl Clark back on the bench because Litton's been absolutely fantastic, but he was getting bullied last week. I think maybe now that I'm actually looking at this, maybe have Clark start the game, put that pin in the ground, like put that yardstick out there. This is how we're going to play. Then bring Litton on for the agility and the wonderful stuff that he does afterwards. I don't know, but I just think that this is a stronger team. We've also got Owen Trout back on the bench. I just think Owen Trout deserves another shout out. I think he's, particularly towards the end of the season last year, he was one of the best forwards in Super League for the last 4 games, I would say. Playing kind of a hybrid style. He's a big fella, but he's got footwork. Put him out there. Let's see what he can do. All right, so that's my team for Australia at the weekend at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. AMT Headingley Stadium. 2:30 kickoff. What do you think? What's your team? Who should be there? Should George Williams be there? It's a tough one. Very excited about this game. I think it's just going to be, win, lose or draw. It's gone now, isn't it? We can't win the trophy. So let's just have one last game of rugby league in 2025. It's been a great year. Come on, England. Let's smash them.